Hi, this is Mike Henriksen from OSCON 2011 in Portland, Oregon. I'm here with Gianugo Rabellino. He's the Senior Director of Open Source Communities at Microsoft.
Precisely.
And you gave a really nice talk this morning, and I'd like to, if you have something from that talk that you'd like everyone to take away, what would that be?
Sure. So first of all, I had an absolute blast this morning. It was really exciting to be in front of this crowd, and it was a packed 15 minutes where we went with a lot of messages. The one that I like somewhat to stay are the fact that we're living in a world of blurred lines. We're living in a world of shades of gray, where it's very hard to do strong categorization, strong compartmentalization. So eventually what happens is that we're living in a world where commercial software and open source can, should, and will coexist. So it's about finding ways to harmonize the two. And this is even more relevant when you talk about the cloud, where we are seeing that this blur is nothing short of gigantic. It's all over the place. We need to, in a way, redefine even the very meaning of software. And we need to find what does openness really mean in the cloud, what does it map to. And I went actually back in time to 1 year ago when we were here at OSCON presenting the elements of cloud interoperability and how we are following up on that. Following up on elements like developer choice, which brought us to bringing new technologies like PHP and Java and recently Node.js on our cloud platform. And more specifically on the way we are doing that, which is by engaging with open source communities, which is just great.
So the cloud is a new space for pretty much everyone. Do you see that going into open and private, or do you see it the only way really to succeed is open?
I think the dust has to settle. Both will be important. Both will be important because the economies are there. The direction, the choice has already been made. So it's about finding the new ways for technology to interoperate and collaborate with each other. So we came today with this idea of an open surface, where open surface is the idea that whatever is at the center may not even matter. You may not know or care whether it's open source or not. What matters is that the outer layers enable that level of openness. And this can be done in multiple ways. You can do that with standards, you can do that with APIs, you can do that with protocols, and of course you can do that with open source. So this is what we are trying to achieve with Azure. This is something that we are seeing happening in the cloud world out there. So I think this is an important pillar of openness, but it's an ongoing conversation. We are really in the early stages, but it's something that we need to do.
Absolutely. So the ongoing conversation, you're having conversations here at OSCON. How receptive is the audience here for the message of open from Microsoft?
Well, so first of all, I'm in a bit of a special situation because I spent a lot of my previous career in open source. So that means that as I'm walking through the expo floor, I see a lot of known faces. Yep. I see me in a new role, and so it's about meeting and greeting, and they're asking me, okay, how is it like to work at Microsoft, and so on and so forth. However, the conversations that I'm having, the more specific one, are about practical issues that we need to work on. And this is great because, all the discussions about the general idea of how open are you, how close are you, are helpful only to a point. I think that we need to get more specific, and it's great that people are coming to us with specific asks. So they want to take our word, they want to see how we have changed, and they're asking our questions. So these are the conversations that I just love to have, and I'm looking forward to having even more here.
From a practical perspective, nobody really owns the cloud, or we're all working on where we're going with it right now. It's still evolving, so it's pretty much a wide open field right now, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
So there's no lock-in or lockdown or stranglehold. No one really owns the cloud yet. And
well, so the lock-in issue is an issue. It's something that we need to think about. One of our elements is data portability, is ease of migration, because we understand it's important. We understand it's important that the cloud offers more choice than what we used to have. I mean, the cloud shouldn't take away what we already got, right? So
yeah.
in that sense, we need to work on that, and we're doing that. The industry is moving in that direction, and that's pretty good because at the end of the day, it benefits the users, and it creates those ecosystems that we really want to see thrive.
So what can we expect from Microsoft in the future with open source and the cloud, and where you guys plan to go with your program?
Oh, so first of all, you have to understand that open source has become exceedingly pervasive within Microsoft. So this morning I showed a map, and the map was, in my first 9 months, I basically been in half of the company's buildings having conversations about open source. So that means that open source is really everywhere. You're going to see open source, and you're going to see openness in many layers and in many places across the board. Of course, the cloud is at the forefront, but it's not just that. It's more, and it's about the realization that we want to work well with others, we want to listen to our customers, and we want to be more open as a company. That's why we're stating that, yes, we have changed, which is a pretty bold statement, if I may.
Absolutely. And is OSCON helping you continue that conversation with open source community?
Oh, of course. I mean, OSCON, the idea that we are having those conversations every day on the mailing list, on the forum, where, open source developers meet and greet. So we have learned how to play that game, and we are engaging in the proper places. However, it is great that, once a year you put names to faces, you can have those impromptu meetings, those serendipitous encounters in the hallways where new opportunities may arise. So, that's always been one of the biggest values of OSCON. I always say that the value of OSCON is, yes, in the tracks, but also in the hallways and in the floor.
Excellent. Gianugo, I hope we see you here next year and we can continue the conversation about Microsoft and openness.